and welcome to Visionary Parenting, where we are sowing the seeds of success within us and within our children, transforming a generation to believe that they can be, do, and have anything that they desire as defined by them. Now, this series, we are having powerful conversations with parenting experts, thought leaders, and parents who are taking the journey of empowering themselves and their children to live the lives that they want, defined by them, successful, abundant lives. So today, for series 2, episode 2, I have the wonderful Vaijayanti Bose, but she said I can call her VJ for short, which is fantastic. And she is a author, a mindset mentor, a blogger and podcaster. And after 40 years of counseling students through the turbulent adolescent years as a professional teacher, Vijay has reinvented herself as an inspirational speaker on self-help and emotional expression for a happy life. Now, she enables her parents to appreciate and understand and imbibe the change parenting paradigm from command and control of the past to collaborative parenting through empathy. Now, I just know that this is going to be an awesome conversation. So welcome, Vijay. It is a pleasure to have you here with me.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege. And from India, Kolkata, I wish you namaste, which is a greeting that I salute the divine in you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's just wonderful. Now, to get started, I would just love to hear your journey into teaching. You've been doing this for a very long time now, and you're still going strong. It's amazing that you still have this passion and this desire to go forth and impact families, parents, and children, right now, and reinventing yourself to do that as well. I think it's just awesome. So if you could just take us on that journey so that everyone can get up to speed with just exactly what it is that you do.
I came into teaching in a very unique way. My story started with tragedy, but ended with triumph. Because I lost my firstborn when he was just 20 days old. And I decided to devote all my maternal love and energy to the children of this world. And I came into teaching, and every student of mine became my child. I became a surrogate mother. And that is why, in spite of so many years that have gone by, my students in all parts of the world, for them, I'm still a mother, I'm still a mentor. And they turn to me for advice and loving relationships.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's the journey. That's the journey. So you, from losing your first child, because you have another child, you have had another child, and she speaks amazing things of you. I did see a post that she did. So go ahead and tell us about that.
She is brilliant. She's God's gift to me. She was born 3 years later, and she's the joy of my life. She's blessed with brilliance, starting from a school in Kolkata, one of the most well-known schools, La Matinee for Girls. She has carved out a meteoric career for herself, first in interior design, and then as a Fulbright fellow, she did a master's in Cornell University in historic planning. And now she is a very well-known urban consultant, author of 5 books. And she's part of ICOMOS International. She's on their panel. And the most important thing is she's such a loving daughter. I lost my husband in April. She has been a pillar of support. Every day she calls me, once a day at least, to find out how things are with me.
Well, deepest condolences on the loss of your husband. And I can see that you are a real proud mama, real proud of the things that your daughter has accomplished, and of all the values that you have instilled in her growing. So congratulations on that. And yeah, that is amazing. That's fantastic. So again, so going back to what brought you into teaching? What made you become or have that desire to be a teacher?
Yes, it's actually when I was about 21 years of age, my father was in the civil service in what is now Arunachal Pradesh, and that's a tribal area in Northeast India. And I had just graduated from Loreto College, and I was just, one of those transit period at home. And a new school had started there by the Ramakrishna Mission. And the head of the institution had invited me to join them to teach English. And I just joined because I was between my college and whatever future course of studies I was planning to take up. But you know something, Melanie, I found these tribal boys over there. They were like a clean slate. And they were just absorbing everything that I said to them. And that made me feel like a creator. I am there creating the willingness to know, learn, observe, interpret, analyze, and see the world in a new way. And that made me realize the power of a teacher. You are giving them a world view through which they're going to see the world. It's not just teaching history. I'm actually a major in history. So I taught history, but more than history, it was an understanding of life, understanding of philosophy, understanding of who we are in relation to others. Today, we are in an interdependent world. See, you are there in London, I am in India. And yet, thanks to technology, we are interacting, learning, growing, sharing together.
Yes.
And I look upon teaching like that. It's a journey of empowerment, empowering my students to see the world in a new way, without prejudice, without bias, becoming global citizens of tomorrow.
Yes, yes, yes. And I think I totally agree with you there. And I think, as teachers, we are in a unique position where we do have, quite a powerful influence on our students' paradigms in the way that they think about themselves and about the world around them. And we have to be mindful about what it is that we're installing in those paradigms. So it's important, like you say, to recognize that interdependence, that we are a global community, and that we should be able to communicate with one another without judgment, without preconceived ideas, without stereotypes, with love and empathy and understanding, and to grow together. And if we instill that in our children from a young age, recognizing the world is small. Technology has now brought us to this point where the world is small. Interconnection is all over, and so we need to be open to that, and to understand that, and to be able to embrace each other's differences, each other's understanding, and grow together like that. And like I said, as teachers, we're in that unique position where we have all of these young minds before us, ready for us to kind of help bring out the goodness out of them, rather than limiting them. And that has happened in the past. We come from a tradition, a schooling tradition of sit and be quiet, be still, be listen, be told, follow instructions, don't think as we tell you to think, those kinds of things, as opposed to allowing a child to be their natural self, we form and shape them in a particular way, as opposed to allowing that natural growth to occur and allowing their brilliance to shine through. So there is a journey that we need to do as teachers to understand the impact that we have on our children's minds and paradigms.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So this one was called about collaborative parenting with empathy. So can you tell me how you got into that journey of collaborative parenting?
When I was really after retirement for me was not at 60. It was 10 years later, that is at 70, because my management did not let me go when I retired at 60, and I got another 10 years, which I think is history. So it was only in May 2020, when the pandemic hit our city, that finally I was released from service. So I had a very, very long innings in my school.
All the way up until 70.
Yes.
My
today.
That is amazing. That deserves a round of applause. That is absolutely amazing.
I look upon it as God's grace.
Wow. Okay. That takes some strength and energy to still be in the classroom at 70 and still be dealing with adolescent teenagers and all of those things at 70. That is amazing in the classroom.
And nothing changed, Melanie. My whatever I did at 60, I had the same routine. I had the same senior classes, the same curriculum. There was no respite at all. It was absolutely the same. Only from being a teacher on roll, I was offering my professional services. Only that nomenclature changed.
Wow. That's an achievement. That's amazing. And you're still going. And this is the thing, you've reinvented yourself again. Many people at retirement age will say, okay, that's me. I'm done. I've done my bit. I've done my work for the world. I've made my change and impact with all of these children. I've done my length of time, and that's it. I'm now doing what I want to do. Okay. So you are in a position of where you're saying, I'm doing what I want to do. What is it that you are doing now? This is the thing.
Well, it was 2019 when I decided that, I'm going to extend my teaching beyond the classroom to the larger world. Till then I was mentoring my students, counseling their parents, but I felt a divine calling, a mission to share my learning, the experience that I had acquired, all the nuggets of wisdom I had got from my mentors. And I wanted to share that with the world. And I wanted to do it in a structured way. And, Melanie, things happen by luck, by chance, whatever you want to call it. And I came across this advertisement on Facebook of Arfin Khan. And I joined his course, Coach to a Fortune, got certified as a mindset coach. And then I felt that I needed to up the ante and go to the stage to reach out to 100,000 people. And that is when I went for his second level course, which is called Speak to a Fortune. I got certified, and I'm on the cusp of starting my mastermind. Now, you know what a mastermind is? It's a group of like-minded people who come together for 2 hours every week for 3 months. And they take up a particular, you could say, a pain point that they have, and they kind of navigate through that pain to cross that bridge and come to the other side where everything is magical. And for me, Melanie, it's women. For me, women are very important because they are the mothers, they are the foundation of a family. And a woman needs to be sure of herself. She has to be role model for her child. And speaking of parenting, if she is not strong enough, if she is not self-assured, if she is not confident, how is she going to bring up a child to have confidence?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So for me, therefore, I want women to come out of the shadow. I want women to express and thrive. I want them to articulate their deepest feelings, raw emotions that they have never shared. It could be guilt, it could be shame, it could be self-doubt. And they're not able to share that with anyone because of fear of being laughed at and ridiculed. So my mastermind is going to create that space. It's a virtual space today. I'll be starting from 15th August, when I will invite women. You're most welcome to come and join also.
I smiled because you said 15th of August and that's my birthday. So that's what made me smile.
Okay. But I may prepone it to 15th of April because 15th of April is our Bengali New Year. So I want to start on an auspicious day. 15th of August is our Independence Day. And that again has a lot of significance of liberation and freedom, you know. It has that connotation. Yes. But 15th of April is our New Year Day. And it's very special, you know, so far as auspicious. So I will be starting in a very small way now, just 10 people, 10 women. And they will be coming there to share the roadblocks they have, why they're not able to express their emotions, because I'm coming to collaborative parenting with empathy. So it's all about emotions.
Yeah.
It's all about emotional intelligence, understanding who you are.
Yeah.
And expressing those emotions, both negative as well as empowering emotions. Get it out of your system. Be whole, be cleansed, be liberated. Then you can be a role model for your child. You can lead from the front. And a happy woman makes a happy mother, a happy wife, and a happy boss, as well as a happy colleague.
A happy household.
And a happy household, and a happy community. So.
Yeah. It's amazing what a happy woman, the impacts a happy woman can have across so many.
My mastermind, the name, see how you like it, whether you like it. It's Express and Thrive. Own your voice to lead a magical life.
Very
How's
nice.
It?
Very nice. Yes. Yeah. I like that. Own your voice. Speak your truth. Allow things to flow. I think that is fantastic.
Absolutely.
That is brilliant. So in doing that, allowing the women to kind of like just find their voices and find who they are, begin to embody that and therefore live by example, and then lead their children by example. So is that where the empathy part comes in, or is that if you could just explain some more on that?
Yes. Collaborative means where you are working in partnership. Okay. If we speak of the older paradigm of parenting, the Victorian paradigm, it is authoritative. It is command and control. You do what I say. I know best for you, you know. It's that kind. But I believe that every person is a being. I mentioned that to you earlier, right? We are individual beings. We are spirit.
Yeah.
Embodied on this journey, which we call karma. In Hinduism, we call it our karmic journey. And each of us have been born with a purpose.
Yeah.
My purpose is not yet over. Otherwise, I would have officially retired 2 years back.
Yeah.
My karmic journey is still continuing because the Lord wills it. The universe wants it. It feels that I still have a lot to give to women and children and to everyone at large. So if you believe in the idea that you are born with a purpose, why can't we think our child also is born with a purpose? Our child has potential, our child has talent. Each child is a unique creation of God. And it is our divine duty to see to it that that child gets all the opportunities, gets that level playing field to grow and thrive and prosper according to his own genius. Yeah. Not something that I impose because I have not been able to achieve that in my life. So I want my child to be that. No. Mm-hmm. I speak from experience. I allowed my daughter to go her way. And she said, I don't want to be an engineer. I don't want to be a doctor. Though I have science, I said, fine, you do what you want. I said, I want to do design. And at that point of time, Melanie, design was not even a heard of concept. Mm-hmm. Very few women went into design, Interior design was entirely a male-dominated field.
Yeah.
And she had to fight her way through and establish herself there, like many architects and many interior designers. So as a mother, as a nurturer, what is collaborative parenting? You collaborate with your child. Make her a partner in creating that goal for the family. Instead of the husband and wife deciding for the child, bring her in. What does she want? Listen to her. Find out what she desires for herself. And you be there to support her financially, after ascertaining how serious is about what she wants to do. Is it a passing fad? Something which she has heard from her friends and they are doing it, so I want to do it? Or is it something more deep-seated? And then give her that support, the resources, as well as the conviction that she may fail in it, but I'm there with you. You're breaking into new ground. If you fall, I'm there to pick you up. Yes. So if you can give that kind of assurance to your child, bring her into the conversation, make her part of that team, like in an office. You sit with your team and you decide, okay, this is our mission, this is our vision, this is what we want. Bring in your child. What does she want for herself and what do I want for myself? Today, if you see my FB posts, my daughter is so supportive of everything I do. Because I brought her into that conversation. I made her understand that this is what I want from within. I can't sit and watch TV 24 hours a day. That's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So for me, knowledge and growth and empathy and making a difference, these are my what we call baselines. They are my core values.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. And then no doubt you've instilled those core values into your child as well. In talking about, making them a part of the team and being having their voice heard, having their opinions heard and so forth, is there an age that begins to happen? Do you think that, or does that start immediately as soon as they are able to express their desires?
Yes, it actually starts right from what we call the primary level, even the preschool level. Listen to your child. Because for me, these are the 4 pillars, okay? Communication, negotiation, understanding, empathy, and compromise. Don't look upon compromise as something that you have to give, that your ego comes in the way. I'm the parent, why should I give in?
Yeah.
So compromise is all about seeing the other person's point of view. That is empathy. Put yourself into the shoes of that person.
Yes, because compromise can be a win-win situation, not a win-lose situation. And compromising doesn't mean that you've given up what it is that you desire. It's just finding a way that you can both win-win.
Absolutely.
Different direction, in that sense. So could you just do those give me those pillars again? Say those again.
Communication, negotiation,
appreciation,
understanding, with empathy, and compromise.
Excellent. Fantastic.
So every day, spend 15 minutes with your child, not asking about studies, not asking about whether you've done your homework or whether the next child is doing better than you. But what's in your mind? What are your fears? What are your doubts? What are your needs? What are your aspirations? Just 15 minutes, just chat. We speak of me time. I'm talking of me time.
Yeah, I like
Sit
that.
with the family.
Time. Yeah.
15 minutes, okay? And in a very tactful manner, draw out your child to express what's there. Maybe she's had a squabble with a friend and she is keeping it to herself and it may affect her negatively. Talk to her. What happened? How did you feel? Why didn't you go and laugh it off and shake hands and hug each other and it's over and done with? Life is too short for carrying grudges. So basic values, basic principles of life, they should be our guiding motto. Other qualities which a parent needs is patience, tons and tons of patience. Collaborative parenting demands tons and tons of patience. Courage. Courage to take a no from your child, especially a grown-up child. Someone in the teens, they can be very brash. They can be very harsh. They can say, no, I'm not doing this. Never take it personally. If you take it personally, you go down.
Yeah.
So have the courage to accept a no from your child. What you can do is a trade-off. Okay, today you can't do it. How about doing it tomorrow? I know you're busy with your project. You've got to complete it. Why not next week? Let's go and do something together. Keep that bridge there. Keep that communication channel there. And it's all about emotional resilience. So again, that is something which in my mastermind, I will emphasize that women have to acquire very strong emotional resilience. Because your child is going to bash you day in and day out, and you have to bounce back.
I've lost you've gone off camera. I can't see you.
Sorry. I don't know why it went off. Okay, yeah.
There we go. There was something that you said there. Oh, we've gone again.
I think I'm keeping this book on top of that. I think that is creating the problem. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah.
So there's something that you said there, but I know that there are some parents that will kind of bulk at. And I think that's a lot to do with, again, the traditional parenting and the way that they was raised, in that sense of where we trade off and bargain and so forth. And when we say, okay, we kind of like do that negotiation thing. And a lot of parents will be like, no, do as I say. Do it as I tell you to do it. And I'm not trading with you. I'm the adult, you're the child, and you're going to do as I say. I'm not waiting until next week or until you decide that you're going to do something. It's like when I tell you to do it, you do it. How do we get round those type of paradigms?
If you are able to give that much value to the parent, that a no now is worth nuggets in gold later. If you can accept the no now, and the child knows that if there's a true justification, like for example, I gave you that the child is busy with her project, she has to deliver it within 3 days. For her, that is the most important thing. She has a deadline to meet, otherwise she's going to receive flack in school. And the parent wants her to do something else. So there, the trade-off is practical.
Yeah.
It's a solution to a problem.
Yeah.
And the question is priority. See, even in the office, when you do work, tasks, you prioritize. So if you can accept that at this moment, that is the priority, for the child. Let me accept it with grace. In fact, I will help her. I will help her in a project, maybe cut out the pictures for her, or maybe download some material from the net. So if I become supportive in her journey of triumph, my no will be forgotten. And I will bask in that glory of the triumph of my child.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So it's a win-win situation for both.
Yes,
in the long run.
In the long run. It's so in one sense, it's kind of like picking your battles in certain, and we all have to do that. We all have to pick our battles and see which is going to allow us to grow, or which is going to actually just cause more harm than it's worth. You know, that's a battle not worth fighting, because it will cause more harm than good. Trying to,
and harmony is very important, Melanie. In any family, in any environment, harmony is important, and harmony can only come when we can see the other's point of view.
Yes.
Even as a little child, the child, remember, is an individual person with very strong likes and dislikes and a mind of its own.
And I think it's important that, you know, that we teach our children about like consent, you know, so allowing them to say what it is that they want and be a part of the decision making and so forth gives them the understanding of consent, knowing that their voice and what they want to do, and the consent that they give is valid and should be taken seriously. And, you know, so therefore you are empowering your children to feel worthy, that their opinions, their thoughts, and their desires are worthy to be listened to be acknowledged, even as a young child, even as a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old saying something, that they are valued and their opinions are listened to.
You know, I'll take it up from there because that helps to build trust.
Yes.
That will build trust between the parent and the child. Today he's confiding you about something very small, you know, someone has taken away his chocolate. But when he becomes a teenager, if you have built that relationship, the child will trust you, will confide in you.
Yeah.
And you will be able to help him navigate through the difficulties of adolescence.
Yeah, absolutely. You become that. You become that point of call, that trustful source, that person, you know, that's always there. And I think that is amazing. That's a brilliant relationship to have with your children.
Yes.
Yeah, that is awesome. Okay.
Also, collaborative parenting. One more point I'd like to add before I forget, Melanie. Is the children today are exposed much more.
Yeah.
The children of today, they know much more than we are, thanks to Google, thanks to the programs in school today. You know, schools have become more child-friendly. They're creating an environment of empowering the child. They're getting speakers. They're getting academic counselors. They're getting psychological counselors. So the child knows himself or herself better. We didn't know at that age ourselves who we were, what made us tick, what were our aptitudes, what were our interests. But today they're going through different tests. They're going through psychometric tests. They're going through all kinds of assessments.
Sorry, is that happening in schools in India? Because it's not happening in schools in the UK, and it's certainly not happening in schools elsewhere. So that must be something that is developing, because at the moment, you know, their schools are still very much unchanged. You know, now recently, since the pandemic and so forth, people having to really take on mental well-being and those types of that's been brought into schools, even more now because of that. But in terms of really allowing a child to know who they are, to really know about themselves and to draw out the magic that's within them, that still is not happening in schools, certainly not in the schools from my experience and from the people that I've been speaking to, both in the US and in the UK. Now, it may well be happening in India because it could well be much more progressive in that sense. There, but it's certainly not happening in the UK and in the US as far as I am aware. You know, we still have to go on that journey as parents with our children to instill and for them to know actually that there is magnificence within them, you know, that we have all that we need, that all of those seeds are there, and we just need to nurture it and help bring it out of them, you know, to identify who they are. But schools are not doing that. Schools are still teaching to the curriculum, still teaching, you know, ABC, 1, 2, 3, and that kind of thing, but not expansive thinking, not creative thinking, not the ability to go and live abundant lives and create the life that you want. No, they're still teaching about
subjects,
line and falling into line, conforming, you know, what's supposed to be, you know, do this. That's what they teach, is conforming, not uniqueness, not you know, and that's what we have to do as parents, you know, find our own uniqueness, find who we are, understand who we are, understand our drives, understand our passions, how to bring that alive and lead our children in that same way by example. Which brings me on to something. Now, you sent me a link just yesterday from Afrikaan. Am I saying that right? Am I saying his name right?
Arfin.
Yeah. Arfin Khan. Yeah, the you know, the test to help you find out who you are a bit further. And as he said, I watched the video of his, and he said, you know, that there are many tests out there. There are many things that you can do in terms of finding out certain aspects of yourself, whether it's your astrology chart, we had the wonderful Nadine Oxman on here talking about human design and how that brings in your natal chart and all of these things, and where things have aligned to find out who you are intrinsically. And Afrikaan does the same with his personality test. Now, I did that test yesterday and went through the questions, and I came back and sent you with the results, and we're going to look through it even further past this. Yeah, but I came back and saying that I was an investigator and had these different kind of different traits in each of the states that you are. So when you're in a very good state, this is the sort of thing that, you know, the description of you. When you're in a good state, this is the description. When you're in an average state, when you're in a below average state, and when you're in a destructive state. And so in reading through those descriptions, now, because when I did the test, it asks you questions and you've only got two options, one or the other. And what I found was in doing that, so sometimes the questions that are there that, you know, on some of the other tests as well, they don't, for me, they don't resonate, or they don't give the answer that I would give. It's like an extreme or the other extreme. So for me, I looked at the question and I would be like, okay, well, it's definitely not that. So my only other option is that. You know, and so it became so some of the questions.
Yes.
You know? And
the nuances, anything you see, we all live in nuances. It's not gray. It's like we live in shades of gray. It's not black and white. So we always look for nuances in the way we talk, the way we speak, we act, we behave.
Yeah. So so what it made me think about, and obviously I haven't gone through the results in details, and when I go through the result with you in details, you'll be able to.
Yes, that will be a journey of exploration and transformation. I can guarantee, because I've gone through it myself. Yes,
right, and you'll explain more about what each is. But just in first reading for me was when I looked at the above average state and the very good state and the good state, I was like, oh, okay, these two resonate. This resonates with me, and that's that. And then when it came to the average state, I was like, I'm not so sure about that. And then the below average state, I was like, what? And then the distorted that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so not.
None of us want to be that.
I was like, but that's so not me. And I can't. I've never been in a destructive state. So there is
average is the worst. Melanie, average is the worst, actually. Because average is you are complacent.
Yes.
You're happy where you are.
Yeah.
And you are not reaching out to the better self that you are capable of, because you are living in that comfort zone.
And
so so it's better if you're below average, because then you have that inner desire, motivation that I have to improve, I have to do better.
Yes.
The driving force will be there. But average, what happens, it's like, it happened with me. I'll tell you that. I speak from experience. So this happened about maybe 20 years ago when I was offered the position of being the principal of my school. But I didn't take it. Why? Because I was in that average state. Now I know it. I was very happy. I was very comfortable with myself. I had a wonderful relationship with my colleagues, with my students. I had a rich social life and wonderful relationships. So why should I extend myself to do something which is going to be taxing on me? That's what happens in the average state. So you don't reach out to your potential, to being someone that the universe wants you to be. And you limit yourself because of your limited beliefs. So it's only when you're able to transcend that and look for a glorious future, then you will take that small little step. You know, Lao Tzu had said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one little step. So in an average state, you're not willing to take that one little step. Now I'm in a good state. Now I'm ready to take that one little step.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. That really does make perfect sense. So if you're in that average state, and so again, it's like I said, when I read my average state, it didn't resonate with me.
I'm just shutting my this thing for a minute. Okay, I just want to put on my battery. Just 1 minute. Just stopping the video. You carry on.
So it didn't resonate with me at that moment, and I think, you know, but there was some really good things in the good state, really good state and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to get. That's the transformation that I'm looking for myself. And I was like, yes. So it's definitely, this personality test is definitely something that I would want to explore further, and to see how that impacts, what shifts I can get from that for myself. And as you say, you know, we have to embody all that it is that we want to be able to lead our children in the same way, to be able to teach them to be able to overcome, to do what's right for them, to find their desires and to go for their desires. We have to do the same. We have to do the same thing for ourselves. So
because you have to be the role model.
Yes.
If you are not going to take that extra step to improve yourself, the child will also feel that there's no need for me to do anything.
The
comfort level will remain in him also. He will not aspire to excel. To excel, you have to strive. That's what I always told my children. You know, when I used to teach my students, I used to tell them that compete with yourself. Don't compete with the next child. The next child may go from 85 to 90. But if you can go from 60 to 65, that is enough for you now. So my philosophy is, I am enough today.
Love that.
I'm enough today with room to grow. So I'm happy as I am. Tell your child that.
I am enough today with room to grow. Do you hear that, everyone? I am enough today with room to grow. And when you know that, when you embody that, gosh, that's like, I'm enough today. And I've still got room to grow. I've got room to grow. But today I am enough. Today I am enough. That is amazing.
Other thing, Melanie, I learned this from Dean Graziosi. We're in that same group, right? And he speaks of the reverse gap. It is so powerful. It is so powerful. You know, I used to always think that, well, as a coach, as a speaker, I have to go from point A to point B, and I've got to do so many things, you know, get a website going, I have to write a book, I've got to do this. But Dean had said, look back, see what you've achieved in the last 2 years of your life. And I actually sat down to journal that, and I found, wow, I've done so much in 2 years.
Yeah.
What I had not been able to do in 30 years of my life, I did it in 2 years post-retirement. I'm a self-published author with a global ranking of 5 stars. Maybe one person has read it, but still, that for me is
that's his published.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That one person was touched by what I wrote, you know, pivot in confidence, live carefree. Someone in Japan read it. I don't know who read it and gave me a 5-star.
What's the book called?
It's called Pivot in Confidence. Pivot, Pivot in Confidence, Live Carefree.
Live Carefree. And that's available on...
Yes, that's available. If you're in America, it's on Amazon.com as a paperback.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's on Kindle Unpublished as an ebook.
Okay.
Kindle Unlisted, sorry, as an ebook.
And so
it's on Kindle as an ebook.
We can drop a link for that, right? If people want to have.
Yeah. What you can do, Melanie, you can give my website address, vaijayantibose.com. The same spelling here, VAIJAYANTIBOSE. Vaijayanti Bose, all small letters, .com. You can write that in the chat.
All right.
So over there, my book is there. The book link is there. They can directly go and, you know, hit.
Brilliant. All right. So we'll make sure that link goes into the stream after that. I'm not great at multitasking.
And that has stories. That has 7 narratives of women.
Wow.
Who have all transcended their own limitations today to be such powerful women. One of them is a student of mine. I waited 1 year for her story, Melanie. Today, you're in London. So I'm telling you this. She is head of place shaping Westminster Council.
Fantastic.
You can't go bigger than that.
Actually, I'm in Jamaica right now, but yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I saw GMT, so I was on.
Yes, I do everything according to GMT UK time. I am still very much on a UK time element, but right now I'm
so she looks after the Queen's palaces over there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she started from my school. And she overcame a lot of limited self-beliefs because she went into architecture. She's an architect, then she became a planner, and now she is in London, head of place shaping, Westminster Council.
Wow.
So these are the stories. These are the stories in my book. They're empowering stories. If you read these stories, you know, they are like affirmations, but affirmations are just you're making statements. These are true stories of affirming in their own journey the qualities of head and heart that you require to be your best self.
That is amazing. That's fantastic. The qualities of head and heart that you require to be your best self. And that is something that we all need to be in touch with, because we all want to be our best self, and we all want our children to be their best self. And that's continuing. That's a continuing growth journey. It's a place that you never arrive, because you get to a point and then there's a next level and there's a next level, and we continue to be our best self. So that is absolutely awesome. So just to finish up, you know, just as we're coming towards the end, I just want to know, like, what's your overall vision now at this stage, having done 40 years, 50, you know, worked until your 70s in schools, doing all of this amazing work with teenagers and parents, and now an author, published author, mindset coach, a blogger, a podcaster as well, and a Toastmaster.
My podcast, please tell your audience. It's called face everything and rise. Interpret fear, F-E-A-R, as face everything and rise. There's nothing to fear in life. Face it and rise.
Amazing.
So I have about 5 podcasts there in that series. One is, which for parents is very important, is respond and not react.
Yeah.
Respond and not react, because what parents do is, they react.
Yeah. Yeah.
They lose their temper. The child says something, the child does something wrong, and the parent just reacts in anger.
There's a space when something happens, there's a space in between, and you've got to catch that space. And you then get the opportunity to respond, not react, but you have to catch that space.
That is why our nuns in Loreto would say, count up to 100. Now I understand the importance of that lesson. When we were small, we never understood these lessons. But I remember my Loreto nuns telling me, you feel that anger building up in you, count up to 100.
Yeah, and see, we did a shorter version. We would tell our children, count to 10. Count to 10. Slowly count to 10. And at the same instance, though, when we were doing that in the first year, like you said, even when we were telling them to count to 10, we didn't know what we was doing. I didn't know what I was doing when I was telling them how to count to 10 before anything.
Yes, because
didn't fully appreciate.
Yes. Now we know. Your survival brain is, thinking brain acts later. It is your survival brain which acts first. And it's always, heckles up. So the more you study psychology, the more you explore the human mind and understand yourself better and try to understand your children, it makes for a great parenting relationship, ultimately. And that is what visionary parenting is all about. To have a vision of being a parent who is so supportive of their child, so that their child can be, have, do more than what you did. As a mother, what I was not able to do, I will give that child the opportunity, the resources to be more, have more, do more, and make their mark in this world.
I mean, and because that's like a traditional concept, isn't it? That we always want our children to be, do, and have more than what we did, and to do, to go that step further than what we did. But I also think now that when I talk about sowing the seeds of success within us and within our children, I think it's an opportunity for us to go for what we didn't have and create that too, and then bring our children on that journey so that they know that they can create what they want. So it's that
is collaborative parenting, where you first become the role model. You set the bar, and you set the bar so high that the child will look up to you as an exemplary figure in a life, and not look outside for role models.
Absolutely, not to start at home, because as I say, we are our children's first and continuous teachers. So if we can must continue to be that role model all the time. It's not to say that they're not going to have any role models outside, but it's to know that within their household, within their home, there is someone that they can look to that embodies all of these things, and it's still on that learning journey, so can acknowledge when things are being learned, and not that at times when we behave like we know everything and we can't apologize, and we can't. So it's not that. They can see us growing alongside with them, and I think that in itself is so empowering, both for us as parents and for our children. I think that to me is awesome. So how can our audience get in touch with you if they want to find out more about the work that you're doing, and perhaps get involved or get, what you're doing? How can they do that?
Do you have the chat here? I can just put in my email ID. Everyone, I'm just putting in my chat. Okay. The name which is very special, very precious to me. And I'll tell you why. Yeah. It's mindscapesolutions2020@gmail.com. Because I see myself as a landscape designer of the mind. And this is a name I had thought of, Melanie, maybe 10 years ago when I was just contemplating, becoming a coach and a speaker. And asked myself, what do I want to do? Okay. I have my sister who is an architect, brother-in-law is an architect. I've heard of landscaping, but can't we work on our mind and make it as beautiful as the landscape outside? So that is why it's Mindscape Solutions.
That is
how amazing. You can really create that beautiful landscape of the mind to empower you on a mission and a vision of growth, of fulfillment, and above all, of happiness.
That's brilliant. That is a brilliant and a perfect description to end this episode on. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So thank you very, very much for your time, for your energy, for your insight and value and wisdom that you have shared with us this afternoon. I fully, fully appreciate all that you have brought. So just to finish what we were saying, as I just said, we are, as parents, we are our children's first and continuous teachers, and we must recognize the impact that we have on our children's beliefs about themselves, about others, and about the world around them, both positively and negatively. So let's be the positive and show our children how to be the best version of themselves by being the best version of us as parents. Visionary parenting is here to help you and support you to do exactly that. So by all means, reach out and just keep that communication going, keep the conversation going. We're here to support you to do that. So once again, thank you so much, Vijay. I fully appreciate all that you have brought to us today.
I appreciate the opportunity you have given me to speak on an international platform, to reach my message to hundreds of homes, and I welcome them into my heart. I believe in building a relationship at a time. So I want them to connect with me, because then I will be able to share more wisdom. I call myself a parenting wisdom coach, because 71 years, I think I have earned that right.
Absolutely. 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 Totally. Hats off to you.
We can sign
amazing. Off. Yes. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. Make sure that you tune in for the next episode in 2 weeks' time, where we will have another amazing guest. Shania Richards will be joining us and just sharing some amazing things that she has been doing with her children. So make sure that you join us in 2 weeks' time for that. The Visionary Parenting Summit that we did last month, that is still available for you to go and grab. So have a look on the page profile and you can pick that up. There's still some fantastic, over like 9 hours worth of incredible value for you to get, plus access to all of their bonuses as well. So do check that out and tune in next time. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. And all the best to your audience and my audience. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend, everyone.